This is Bay Radio.
Those the Ward Thomas sisters then, No Filter at 10:20, mainland Spain, 9:20, the UK and Canaries. I'll tell you what, let's not drag this out anymore, because it's what you'd be taught to do, is leave this till the last minute. It's a big thing that we were teasing up. But just want to get on to this. We had in our Spanish news yesterday about expats living in Europe, in the EU, with UK bank accounts, which they could still do. Mm-hmm. You know, we used to have the branches over here, of course. Yeah. That they may face losing those at the end of the year if nothing's hammered out at the last minute to sort out pan-European banking regulations. And this is not fake news to whoever come straight in and put that.
No, this is very, very true. Earlier this week, I went to see a client and she gave me a letter. She was very, very distressed. It was from Barclaycard. She's had a Barclay card for 40 years, saying, we're advising you that due to Brexit, we will be closing your account at 11 p.m. on the 31st of December 2020. That was it. And she said, is this true? And I said, well, it could be. I said, let me go away and check. So I phoned up Barclays and they confirmed, and so did Lloyds, that because of Brexit, what happens at the moment is these banks, it's not only banks, it's credit card companies, and it's also financial advisors in the UK. They passport into Europe. So being part of the EU, they are allowed to sell their services and their products or give them to people who live in the EU. If we have a Brexit with a no deal, at the moment, let me just put it this way, none of the deals on the table actually cover financial products. So something's going to have to be negotiated separately. It means that they will lose these passporting rights. So it means that people in Europe who can no longer hold a Barclays card, a UK or any credit card, or a UK bank account unless they have a UK address. Now, that is key. Hear me out. Unless they have a UK address. NatWest and Santander have said they are waiting. They're not sending out letters yet. They're waiting to see what happens. Santander, as we know, has branches here. NatWest is Royal Bank of Scotland. So for some of them, they're saying they're going to close the accounts on the 16th of November. Others are saying at 11 p.m. on the 31st of December 2020, unless you have a UK residential address. So that means your bank accounts will be closed. Doesn't matter how many years you've had them, how much money you've got in them. This lady had a letter saying, you've got so much money, can you arrange for this to be transferred out? She's got a rental property in the UK that she rents. That money needs to go into a bank account in the UK. It won't be able to if they close her bank account. So it's very, very distressing. And I think the banks are very irresponsible because they've known about this for ages. They could have taken steps to warn people about this sooner, and they could have put processes in place to stop this happening. At Blacktower, it's the same for us. We use passporting via Gibraltar to do business in across Europe. Yeah. We knew that if there was a no-deal Brexit and that the financial side wasn't being discussed, that unless you were authorised to do business in the country you want to do business in the EU, you can't. So therefore, we've got authorised by every authority in every country. Sorry. And also, we have set up another head office within the EU, so we don't have to passport in. From the UK. And the banks could easily have done this. They could have maybe used Ireland and switched the accounts to Ireland. I don't know the logistics of it, but at least they could have given people more warning, telling them now when there's literally, 2, maybe 3 months to go, that they've got to do something. It just isn't good enough. And the way things are going, it does look like there will not be a deal on the financial side. It's also going to impact people who have investments in the UK. I've had at least in the last month, half a dozen, if not more, people contact me who have been contacted by the UK financial advisors saying that they will no longer be able to service them after the 31st of December because they won't be able to passport in, and also their professional indemnity insurance will no longer cover them to do business in Europe. So we're having to look at that. Also, if some of you invest on your own, In platforms, you may not be able to do that. Also, certain funds can no longer be used in Europe. If you have funds that begin with an ISIN code, it's a code how you distinguish what a fund is. It's every code has got a unique ISIN code, every fund. If it begins with GB, some of those will not be able to be used in Europe. So these companies are setting up new sort of funds in either Ireland or Luxembourg. So they'll begin IE or U. If you have those, you don't have to worry. But there is a lot, and people need to act now. They need to look at their finances. They need to look what they have in the UK. It is definitely true at the bank accounts and about credit cards. So those of you that have been using a Barclays card, if it has a address in Europe, you should be receiving a letter in the post saying they're going to be closed down. As I said, unless you've got a UK residential address, they will be doing this.
And presumably, if you need to transfer that money out when the account's closed, they're not going to be necessarily friendly with the rates.
Well, if you
have to move it to sterling,
you can open a sterling
euros.
account in Spain.
Oh, you
can't
can?
Yes.
Okay.
All the banks here will offer you a sterling account, so you can transfer into a sterling account here. But the problem is, if you don't have a UK bank account, what they're saying is post-Brexit, some of the pension companies will not be able to pay your money over into the EU. So it has to go into a UK bank account, and then you transfer it to Europe. So we have to see if that's going to come into force, because if it is, it's going to cause lots of problems for people getting their pensions. Not for state pensions, because the government can automatically pay those and convert them into euros and pay them over here. But some private pensions, you may find you have a problem receiving your money. But as I said, it's not scaremongering, it's not fake news. I've checked with Barclays, I've seen the letters that are coming out. It is definitely happening. So please beware. You should receive letters in the next 4 to 6 weeks if you haven't already received them.
Are there any alternatives? Like, you see these online banks, online
Yes.
only. How do they work? Would that still be the same?
It depends. You'll have to look at their terms and conditions.
Right.
There are some that operate throughout Europe. I think it's Revolut.
I don't know. There's quite a few, isn't there?
There's quite a few, but if you check their terms and conditions, and you may need to look at opening one of those bank accounts, and please act sooner rather than later. I'd rather you open a bank account now, just put £50 in so it's there. If it all does fall apart at the end of the year, you've got something to fall back on, rather than at the end of the year, you're thinking, oh my God, what can I do? I'm really, really stuck. So please, look at it now. Don't panic. Don't run around like headless chickens going, oh my God, oh my God. You have got a few months to sort this out. But please do not bury your head in the sand. If you have a UK address, please use that UK address. If you have a property in the UK that's yours, or you use a UK address, make sure your bank accounts have that address, and then you won't be getting this letter. But if they know you're anywhere in Europe, in France, Spain, Italy, Germany, you will be receiving these letters. Certain companies have certain countries on their list. So not every country in Europe at the moment seems to be included, but definitely France, Spain, Germany, Slovakia. There was quite a few that were on the list. I think more were than weren't. So it is true.
Well, thank you for clearing that up.
This is Bay Radio.